5 missiles rise. 1 civilian cargo jet falls. 22 minutes later, Tomahawks are inbound. This video breaks down the fastest U.S. naval retaliation you'll see on this channel. How the Arleigh Burke-class USS Liberty launched Block 5S before the MD-11 FS debris even settled, and how Operation Iron Response fused satellites, sea radar, and special operations into one timeline. You'll get the exact sequence, alarms on the jet, kill chain confirmation, launch authority, targets, so you can judge if modern deterrence lives or dies on speed. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. Costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now back to the video. 5 short-range launches. 1 freighter airframe breaks. A destroyer has the ball. The problem is immediate and ugly. An unarmed MD-11F is hauling sensitive tech through contested sky when 5 man-portable missiles arc up from the ground. The cockpit gets a shrill master alarm, then silence as the jet loses control surfaces and breaks stability. Over hostile airspace, that means no rescue window, no escort, just a falling aircraft and a race to find who pulled the trigger. Non-state actors force a state to respond. That creates ownership questions in seconds. Who confirms the shootdown and ties it to a real firing unit? Who sets the clock?
New insights from the investigation into that fiery cargo plane crash in Louisville, Kentucky. The National Transportation Safety Board says...
According to you, well, NTSB is on the ground. They are going to be conducting their investigation throughout the day. They were able to retrieve those 2 black boxes, something they thought might not even be possible because of the sustained heat.
Grade A Recycling was one of several local businesses in the aircraft's impact zone.
But you know, the plane crashed on us.
It wasn't just a couple minutes. It wasn't just the plane crashed and that was it. It was an explosion after explosion after explosion. Like I could have, if it would have happened earlier, like I could have been there, right? And my heart goes out to the people that we don't know where they are.
Field commander afloat or a desk in DC. The Pentagon must kill the false positive before it kills anything else. You can't punish a malfunction or a misread heat bloom. But you can't wait while the launch team unplugs, hides, and wipes. So the detection stack goes to work. Overhead sensors catch the heat spikes first, 5 discrete blooms, short-lived and close to the ground. At sea, a long-range radar on a guided missile destroyer paints the airspace and sees a clean track degrade into fragments, then a debris field. Those 2 feeds cross-cue. What looked like chaos becomes a synchronized file. Launch points, timestamps, and a probable shooter corridor mapped by elevation, angle off, and back azimuth alone. Now decision geometry. The ship's commander carries delegated authority for time-sensitive strike under a pre-briefed playbook. That playbook is simple. If A, then B with C as the legal check. Comms compress minutes into seconds, secure voice up, data link hot, a legal advisor and a fire cell on the same net.
I heard, people yelling, "Where are these people?" One of our truck drivers our vendors, his jacket was melted. He said he thought he broke his leg.
And the engine that fell off that plane during takeoff was manufactured by General Electric. I want to read you a couple of statements here. Let's start with GE's. They say they are deeply saddened by the accident.
We have identified the cockpit voice recorder and the flight data recorder. This is what is commonly referred to as a black box.
And supporting the NTSB investigation. Meantime, the CEO of UPS also sending a message to employees there, reading in part, "Our hearts continue to be with all who have been impacted." Errol.
The rule is clean thresholds. Confirm hostile act, confirm origin, confirm feasible target set. Anything less breaks the chain. Why the Arleigh Burke sits at the tip of the spear comes down to tools and angles. It has the reach to hit land nodes without crossing borders, the precision guidance to thread a missile through a narrow target area, and the flexibility to choose from facilitators, ammo dumps, or command shacks. Tomahawk Block 5 gives route options, altitude profiles, and aim point discipline. It can swing to a fresh target mid-flight if the network tries to move. Contrast the attacks. The shooters ashore rely on 5 Igla-class shots, cheap, portable, lethal inside a short envelope. They hunt a big, slow freighter with no self-protection suite. The reply is a joint kill chain. Space-based eyes confirm, a ship delivers the strike, and rotary wing lifts in low for recovery and site exploitation. One side bets on a lucky window. The other layers sensors, authority, and steel into one move. Lay out the clock. Alarm on the jet. Acknowledge by the crew, then loss of signal. Space feed flags the heat blooms. Sea radar marks the breakup. Cross Q locks the launch zone. A human confirms the pattern matches a short-range shot, not engine failure. Target selection drills down to enablers, not headlines. Weaponeering chooses effect, single warhead for a shack, duels for a bunker, delayed fuse if walls are thick. Launch orders cut through with pre-approved language and geofenced coordinates. So the risk of escalation error stays low and the strike remains proportional.
So alarming to hear those first-hand accounts. Tom, what else did witnesses tell you about what they saw, what they heard, and what they're living through right now in the aftermath?
We do believe that that is the engine from the left side of the plane. It is actually on the airfield.
I mean, the stories are harrowing and deeply disturbing, Errol. We spoke with that woman who was on the ground. She describes a chaotic scene where people were running around. You heard how hot the flames were.
You know, it could have been any of us, right? I could have easily been, I was in that building earlier in the day talking to two of our employees. And
the payoff comes fast. Missiles leave the vertical launchers in under 22 minutes. Not a volley sprayed in anger, but a disciplined pair aimed to erase the firing cell's support and erase its records. The timing denies the shooters the chance to move their gear, stash launch tubes, or scrub the laptops that log who paid, who trained, and who directed. Meanwhile, the second wave is already inbound. Rotors stay below the horizon line, blades masked by terrain, night optics scanning for heat and tripwires. That team isn't there to level a town. They're there to grab drives, tag fragments, and confirm the node was real. This is rapid deterrence up close, steel first, then hands and eyes on target. If you were on that aircraft's route, you'd want both. Speed is the message. When shock is the weapon, a clean 22-minute answer turns shock into deterrence. You saw it. Delegated authority, pre-briefed playbooks, and comms that snap the chain shut before the shooters can run. Protocols matter. Single net for fires, intel, and legal. Data links for tracks, voice for approval, cut and paste strike text to avoid errors. Pre-planned target packs. The balance is simple, two-source confirmation and human in the loop, but no waiting for perfect intel. Do you think deterrence lives or dies on decision speed? Say why. If you'd structure the strike differently, comment your choice below. Subscribe and join a community that seeks to understand the realities of modern conflict.